big can this guy be?
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet.
Let them come. For centuries, our kind has stayed hidden on Earth. Prime. But darkness has found us again. This is about the fate of all living things.
Back up!
Oh, I thought we were boys.
Think you holding less than you haven't met the aim. Stop!
You brought a human here?
I'm nobody. I ain't even seen nothing. I'm not even seeing anything right now.
This is not our war.
Optimus, we must trust each other to protect the home we all share.
In the end,
Maybe there's another way to save our home.
everything you cared for will be consumed. You've never faced anything like this.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my Transformers Rise of the Beast trailer video. They finally revealed that Unicron is actually the main villain of the movie, so we'll explain what's going on. They've been teasing Unicron in the Transformers movies for a long time now. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I'll do a giveaway for movie tickets when we get a little bit closer, too. All the fans of classic Transformers just pointing at the screen doing the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, like, they're finally doing Unicron. Planet-on-planet violence.
And Unicron. Proceed on your way to oblivion.
Just starting with the important stuff, though, when Optimus Primal is telling Optimus Prime about what's going on, like Unicron is the real threat here, we need to be worried about the end of all living things. It is a little bit weird that Optimus Prime, being a Prime, doesn't know about Unicron. There's footage of this glowing jewel shooting energy into the sky. That might be a version of the Allspark, which is kind of like their version of the Matrix of leadership inside the Transformers universe, like a piece of Primus. Unicron and his twin brother Primus are sort of like the twin gods of the Transformer multiverse. Unicron is more of like a dark god of the Transformers, and Primus is like the light side god creator of all Transformers. That includes all factions of the Transformers, like all the Autobots, as well as the Decepticons, the Predacons, the Maximals, every different version of Transformers that evolved over time. So them doing Unicron is sort of them going back to the origin of the Transformers multiverse. They actually just announced that they're actually doing a movie about the origin of the Autobots and the Decepticons called Transformers 1 with Chris Hemsworth, of all people, playing young Optimus Prime. They'll also probably use some of that movie to explain the origin of Cybertron as well as the origin of Primus and his brother Unicron. We see Unicron in his planet form getting ready to consume another planet. He looks just like he did in the classic series in the classic movie. Remember, though, this is just one of his forms. Like, you do actually see his eyes. Like, he does start transforming in later parts of the trailer. This is one of his other forms. Like, he can take a couple different forms. If you're not a big fan of Transformers, the closest I could compare him to would be like a version of Galactus inside the Transformers multiverse. His whole thing is that he wants to consume all life. Which is also kind of funny because they just announced that Galactus is probably going to be in this new Marvel Fantastic Four movie that they're going to be doing the next couple of years. Rolling really hard on planet-sized characters. Basically, Unicron consumes other planets, other worlds, other suns to make more energy. That's how he continues to survive. But his real goal is to get rid of the multiverse so that everything will return to the black nothingness of chaos that existed before the birth of the multiverse, before the Big Bang. You see the teeth form from what is kind of like his mouth getting ready to consume a planet. This is a scene of Peter Dinklage's Scourge character, who's the leader of the Terrorcons who've allied with Unicron against the Autobots and everybody that's on planet Earth. This is him speaking to Unicron in front of one of his giant eyes. Like, this gives you an idea. Like, he's about the same size as Optimus Prime, so that gives you an idea of the scale. There's a scene of the characters teasing that there might be some way to actually stop Unicron and them opening this ancient portal here on the ground. I'm not totally sure what their solution is going to be. Probably going to have something to do with the Allspark. Within the Transformers continuity, usually Primus was the only other being that was powerful enough to stop Unicron himself. And within the live-action Transformers movies, the Allspark is sort of like a piece of Primus's divine essence.
You are to destroy the Autobot matrix of leadership, the only thing that can stand in my way.
Then they have this giant 3 or 4-way battle in the end, because there's one group that they don't actually show in the trailer, or at least I haven't seen them in the trailer yet. The actual synopsis teases 4 main groups of all the different types of Transformers from the Beast Wars period and the modern period. The Autobots, the Maximals from Beast Wars, the Predacons, and the Terrorcons. The Predacons are kind of like the Beast Wars version of the Decepticons, though. Remember, during the movie, they're sort of combining some of the different eras of Transformers from the TV shows. During the Beast Wars era, the Maximals were kind of like the Autobots, but they're basically saying in the movie that the Autobots and the Maximals are 2 completely different groups of characters. It was the same thing with the Predacons and the Decepticons, so like Megatron was a purple dinosaur as part of the Predacons. But I don't know how they're going to explain that during this movie because I haven't seen a purple dinosaur anywhere in any of the trailers yet. I'm assuming at some point there'll be some teaser for him in the movie. But the whole idea here in this big final battle is that they're all going at each other. And it seems like a portion of the battle will take place on Unicron's body, like you see his giant body all around them here. Just to explain Unicron's origin story though, it's actually a pretty cool creation myth within the Transformers multiverse if you're not up on the lore of Transformers. They've retconned the backstory of the Transformers a bunch of times, but in the most current incarnation, Unicron is more like Primus's older twin brother, the Dark God of the multiverse. Unicron came before Primus, and it was sort of like an Adam and Eve story from the Bible. The being who created Unicron is called the Source or the One, which they've referred to many times in the live-action movies as well as the animated series, the animated movie.
Till all are one! Till all are one!
It's the source of all life and the source of all life within the Transformers as well. The Source was sort of like an extra-dimensional being that existed before the birth of the multiverse. He's meant to be like a singularity that existed before all of creation. His body contained the pure primal forces of order and chaos existing in pure harmony. Then the Big Bang happens, the multiverse is born, and the Source creates Unicron in order to explore the universe and discover new creations, suns, planets, everything. Sort of like the Celestials inside the Marvel universe. Unicron and his twin brother Primus are both multiversal beings as well, meaning that there's only one version of them in the entire multiverse, but the difference is that Unicron has to physically move between different universes, whereas Primus can exist in all universes simultaneously. The first major era of the Transformers multiverse is referred to as the Age of Gods of Light and Darkness. It's sort of like a Lord of the Rings backstory where during the first age, you have a bunch of gods going to war with each other. At the beginning of time, the Source watched Unicron going around the multiverse exploring. He noticed that he would consume everything, kind of like Galactus in the Marvel Universe, like I said. Because the Source didn't want this, he didn't intend for Unicron to consume everything, he takes from Unicron's body and creates Primus, giving him the power to stop Unicron from consuming everything. Primus becomes the leader of this group of ultra-powerful cosmic entities called the Light Side Gods. They go to war with Unicron, who's leading a group of what they call the Dark Side Gods. Primus eventually defeats Unicron, trapping them both on the physical plane in an asteroid, and Primus then turns his body into the actual planet Cybertron, creating the Transformers. He passes a portion of his divine energy into all the Transformers that he creates, as well as the Matrix of Leadership, which the Primes pass down in the form of the Allspark during the Transformers live-action movies. The Autobots, the Decepticons, all the other different factions of Transformers are just part of the group of Transformers that Primus created, so he is essentially their maker. And the reason why in the present day of all the Transformers movies you don't see Primus talking to the other Transformers, Optimus Prime, or really doing much of anything is because he goes into self-imposed exile, going dormant, so that Unicron can't detect him and find a way back to the universe. Typically in present day, Unicron relies on alliances with lesser Transformer factions. In the movie, that's the Terracons, led by Peter Dinklage's Scourge, but he also has a mental link with his twin brother, Primus, and he can use that against him. So the whole idea is that Unicron is too powerful for the Transformers to actually destroy him completely, but they can get rid of him temporarily, which it sounds like is what's probably going to happen during the movie. Like, they will be able to stop him from destroying the entire Earth, but they won't absolutely destroy him. If there's any other big Easter eggs or references that you saw in the trailer footage that I didn't address in the video, just write them below in the comments. I'll try to do more videos for the movie as we get more footage. There were a bunch of other trailers that came out this past week, a bunch of first looks and teasers. I'll try to do videos for everything as quickly as possible. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everyone click here for my Guardians of the Galaxy 3 review, and click here for that brand new Flash movie trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.